And well, let's get started.
Ghosts are real. That much I know.
Hey horror freaks, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda. So you can see from the title, today's video is going to be my list of the best and worst horror films of 2023. Now, doing a comparison with last year, definitely 2023 wasn't as good. But we still have some films that are worth watching and that they weren't so bad. But it came to the extreme that I didn't give any horror film this year a 10 out of 10 or a 5 out of 5. This is a first one for me since the last couple of years that I have been doing this. At least I come with 2 or 3 films that I gave this rating. But this wasn't the case. The higher rating were only 2 films that I gave a 4.5 out of 5, and they aren't even the top 1 and 2 of this list. Why? Because I rewatched the films that are in this list, and I came to the conclusion that although I gave them those ratings the first time that I saw them, once I see them and then I compared them with the ones that came out after them, I come to the realization that just because I gave them those ratings, that doesn't precisely mean that they are actually the best ones. Meaning that my list has changed a lot from the last one that I did back in June. From those first 6 months of 2023, this list has changed quite a lot. The top 5 worst, that didn't change. That kind of remained the same. I had to add one and take one out. So if you want to know which ones are my top 10 best horror films of 2023 and my top 5 worst horror films of 2023, keep on watching. Now getting with the top 5 worst horror films of this year, like I said, this list didn't change that much. But on the top 5, I have Unwelcome. This one came out in Shudder, and oh boy, this one was alright, but not a good thing. This one had the potential to be good, but it wasn't. The characters were extremely annoying, something that when you're watching a film, it can make it hard watching. Also, the main aspect of the film that they were supposed to be these creatures, they only appear on the last 15 minutes of the film, and they don't even look that good. So this film had a lot of potential with the premise, but it just didn't work. Now on the top 4, this is the one that is being added to it, to probably nobody's surprise, maybe a little bit, The Exorcist Believer. Now I think that I am never going to forget how many insults I got for when I did my trailer reaction and I said that this film looked kind of basic and I wasn't interested in watching it. You guys have no idea. I have never received that many insults. I never expected the film to trigger so many fans of David Gordon Green because I didn't say anything. Only that I wasn't interested and that the film looked a little basic. But I still gave it a shot. But to nobody's surprise, a lot of people actually agreed with me once the film came out. And those people that gave me the insults, they probably are not even subscribed to my channel, but I hope that they are okay. So for me, this film was bad. I never truly understood if this film was actually trying to be a new introduction of this upcoming trilogy or was trying to be a legacy sequel. Also, what they did to Chris McNeil's character, she deserved it way better. So that's why for me, this film is the top 4 of the worst ones of the year. Now, when it comes to my top 3, essentially it remained the same. The top 3 is There's Something Wrong with the Children. This one, it's from Blumhouse. Once again, the main characters, they were extremely annoying. The story wasn't that interesting. So for me, it was a hard watch once again. In the top 2, I have Children of the Corn. This one was filmed in 2020, but it got released this year. And this one was a bummer because I was actually expecting it to be good since, on a general aspect, Children of the Corn is not a very good franchise. Somehow, they never get right these films. And I was kind of, I don't know if you guys hear this, but it's raining. Well, there's nothing I can do. Mother Nature doing this thing. But moving on. But I was expecting way more from this film. The girl that plays the villain, I think that she did a pretty good job. I would like to see her in more horror. She has the look. for being a creepy kid. So I really hope to see her once again in horror. But my main issue with this film was the CGI. It was pretty bad. But for me, the worst horror film of this year, and I think that many people will agree, is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Now, for me, the biggest issue is how rushed it feels. This film was filmed in 10 days. And just a couple days after the character got into the public domain. And I think that if they have stayed a little bit longer thinking with what they wanted to do and the script, maybe they could have done it a little bit better, because the potential is there. And I kind of like it, the introduction that is animated. I think that looked pretty cool, and it give you all the explanation of what happened with the characters when Christopher Robin leaves, and also the design of the characters. They were using masks, and I think that they were kind of cool. The one from Winnie the Pooh, it's kind of cool, but the worst part of this film is definitely the script and also the acting. But still, it had a massive success. It got millions on the box office, and we're having the sequel. So I am just hoping that, just like happened with Terrifier, that the second one had some improvements. Maybe the sequel is going to have some improvements. Now, with that, we conclude the top 5 worst horror films of 2023. And now we are moving to the top 10 best horror films of 2023. Now, on the number 10, I have No One Will Save You. I was expecting nothing from this film. I wasn't even going to watch it until I saw a clip on Instagram. Hulu was promoting the film, and I saw a new poster and then a clip from the film. And I thought, this actually looks way more interesting than I thought. So I decided to give it a shot. I do not regret it a single bit. Once the film ended, I was with the feeling of wanting to watch it again. And that's a good thing for me. I really like this film. I think that the concept was pretty cool. The actress, she did a fantastic job. If you have not watched this film, I will suggest you to do it, because I think that it's worth watching. Not everyone has liked this film, obviously, but I feel that it deserves the chance. On the number 9, I have Megan. This one was my first horror film of this year that I saw in theaters, and I do not regret it. I know that there were a lot of people that did not like Megan. That wasn't my case. I enjoyed it a lot. I had a lot of fun. I have rewatched it a couple times, and the feeling is the same one. I think that it's funny, it's silly, yeah, but it's pretty good. And I really like the fact that it's taking such an important subject today, that is the dangers of artificial intelligence. And yes, it's an exaggerated situation with this doll, but it's something that it's real. This type of technology can turn very dangerous very soon. And I feel like it was a cool way to show it to the public. And we're actually having the sequel coming on 2025. So I am excited for that one. And I really, really like it, Megan. And her dance. I like those type of things. On the number 8, I have Influencer. This one is from Shudder, and I kind of feel that it's a little bit underrated. This one is more of a thriller rather than horror, but I still enjoyed it a lot. Once again, I was expecting nothing from it. I went with really low expectations, and I ended up being pretty surprised. If you have not watched it yet, you should give it a try if this is your type of horror. Once again, I believe that the actress that is the main protagonist, she did a fantastic job with this. She was very, very creepy. And she even appeared in more recent Shudder production, and it's a wonderful knife. She appears very briefly, but I was surprised to see her again. But I would really like to see her in more horror, because she was pretty good in it. So I'm pretty sure that doing other types of horror, maybe on a bigger studio, different directors, scripting, all those details can make a huge difference, and maybe she can get more successful. On the number 7, I have the most recent one, and it's Thanksgiving. I enjoyed this slasher a lot. It was very graphic, of course. It's from Eli Roth. Silly, a little bit. Maybe it's a little bit basic when it comes to slashers, but I still enjoyed it a lot. I kind of felt that it was exactly what it was supposed to be. A fun, silly slasher, and with a lot of blood. And for me, this one was a fun watch. I had such a good time in theaters. I haven't rewatched it, but I want to do it. But if you haven't watched it, give it a try because it's a very good one. Well, if you can take graphic stuff, of course, not everyone has the strength to that. And of course, Eli Roth can be very, very graphic, very, very quickly. From the start, the film turns graphic. So just a warning. But if you're interested in something it's telling you, maybe I should watch it, this is your sign, do it. Now, going in the number 6, I have Scream 6. Now, this one was my number 1 from the June list, and I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. So this one was the one from 2 that had the higher ratings this year. But like I said at the beginning, just because it had my highest rating, it doesn't mean that it's the best one. It was a very good one. There's a lot of people that did not like it. This one, of course, that happens, especially with this type of franchise, and there's a lot of passionate fans. But I did like it a lot. Now, going on the top 5, we have Evil Dead Rise. This one was such a fun ride. Evil Dead is a franchise that never misses. For me, is one of the best, if not the best, horror franchise to ever exist. Because for me, all of these films are so good. Of course, I have my ranking, but on a general opinion, I like them all. And this one, from those very first minutes when that title card came in, it blew my mind. And my expectations from this one were really high. And I came out so damn happy because sometimes it happens that you go to watch a film with higher expectations, and since they are not fulfilled, you came out disappointed. This wasn't the case. I was so damn happy, so excited. I enjoyed it. I have rewatched it a couple times. It never misses. This is a solid one. If you haven't watched it, go and do it. If you have never watched an Evil Dead film, that's fine. Because here's the thing. This one works as a standalone perfectly. Now on the top 4, I have Saw X. I enjoyed this film so damn much, and this one is the second one that had the 4.5 rating from me. I love this film from the beginning to the end. One of the things I like it the most is that we finally got that emotional or more human side from John Kramer. Tobin Bell, he is amazing. I cannot see another actor as John Kramer. And we're even having Saw 11 coming next year. It was announced a couple days ago, in case I just didn't know. Only time will tell how the hell they're going to be doing that. But this one, I truly, truly liked it. I was this close to miss the film in theaters since I was traveling when the film got released. So I ended up watching the film in Barcelona. And for me, it was not only a fun watch, but also very emotional. Like I said, this is the emotional human side of John Kramer. And I feel that Tobin Bell, he captured that perfectly. And we have a lot of details that we never saw from this character. And it's the missing piece of the puzzle in this franchise. And I truly, truly loved it. So that's why for me it was a 4.5. I do not think that is the best one of the year, but definitely is pretty close since it's in the top 4. Now we're getting into the top 3. Now my third one is Talk to Me. This one, when I went to the theater to watch it, I didn't know what to expect from it. I remember I saw the trailer and I thought it would look interesting. I was looking forward to watching it, and the beginning, that told me that this one was going to be intense. And I was wrong. The scene when they are messing with the hand and we have the music and just that, I felt that it was so good because this is your reminder that at the end, this is a teenage horror film. We have teenagers, but not in the conventional way, because we all know that teenagers in horror, they all follow the same formula. These films, they are the same, but here, since it's done on a different way, it almost feels as something that is brand new. And I think that it was brilliant. And we're having the sequel. I am not sure if it's coming next year or 2025. I am not sure yet. And we're also having a prequel. This one was shot in secret and it's supposed to be a short. It's not a long film. And this one is supposed to show what happened before the beginning. That is the previous owner of the hand how he got it and those kind of details. And I am actually looking forward to watch it because I think that is a pretty cool thing to do, that is give that short explanation of how the guy got the hand and how he ended up with, we know what happened at the beginning. In case you haven't seen it yet, just avoiding the spoilers. But if you haven't watched it yet, definitely you should give it a try, because this one for many is the best one of the year. It's a solid one, but for me, of course, it's not the best one, because of course you will be hearing now which ones are my top two. Now my top two, as a coincidence, both of them are Latin American and they are both from Shudder. I did not make this in purpose, but it happened. The top two is Huesera, the Bone Woman. This one is a Mexican film. I loved this film with my whole heart. This one was such a ride, and I ended up watching it and I saw it again because I cannot process what I saw, the way that it's made. But something that really make a little bit different experience for me, but in a good way, is the fact that I got to relate to the protagonist. I am Latina, I am Puerto Rican, although she's Mexican. There are things in the Latin community that we can share in terms of experiences with the family. And when I saw the interactions and what she had to deal with, those were things that for me were so familiar because I have heard them before. I have seen them happen to other people. So for me, what she was living, it was understandable, and I have some type of connection with her. And that's why I kind of believe that I liked this film a little bit more, because I was like, yeah, girl, I understand you. I understand it. Yeah, everything that is happening is pretty realistic. Now, before I get into my top one, I want to have 3 honorable mentions. The first one, Skinamarink. This one is probably the most talked film of this year. There's many people that hated this film and a lot of people that loved it. In my case, I'm kind of in the middle. I understood what they wanted to do. It was long as hell. They could have made it a little bit shorter, definitely, but I understand what they did and why they did it. So I think that maybe deserves to watch, but just a warning, you should be prepared and be patient because it's a long one. The second one is Sick. This slasher was good. I did not love it, but definitely it wasn't bad. So I think that deserves to be mentioned here. And the third one will be Clock. This one is from Hulu. And I wasn't expecting anything from it, but I really liked it. I did review it. And yes, I also review Sick and Skinamarink. But this one, once again, I was expecting nothing from it, and I ended up liking it way more than expected. And it's more of a thriller, I could say, but it's still worth watching if you like those type of films. So it's from Hulu in case that you want to watch it. Now for my top one best horror movie of this year, probably you already know, because like I said, their top two are both Latin Americans films. They are both from Shudder, and it's When Evil Lurks or Cuando acecha la maldad. This film is from Argentina. The director is the same guy that did Aterrados, that is Terrified, from 2017. That is a pretty good film. Now this one, I remember that I saw it in June thanks to an early screener by Shudder, and I had to shut my mouth for months because this film was officially released in October. And I remember watching it, and when the film ended, these credits were rolling and I could see my face in my computer, and I was like, what the hell did I just watch? And I rewatched it because I needed to rewatch it. This film was amazing. It blew my mind because as someone who has seen so many horror films in her life, at some point you kind of predict what is going to happen since we have seen it all. But here it was impossible. And that's something that I actually like. Sometimes I do not like predicting the films. I like to be surprised. And in the case of this one, I was very, very surprised. A lot. Like I said, the ending, it blew my mind. And there's a scene with the little girl and the car and the house. That was intense. And also the beginning. From the very beginning, you know what you're carrying yourself into. And even the pregnant lady wasn't safe. and I have rewatched it a couple times, and my mind hasn't changed. This is for me the best one from this year. And if you have not watched it and you have Shudder, you should go and watch it. And with this, we close the video and the year, because this is my last video talking about horror films of 2023, since my next video is going to be the releases of next year. Well, I think that this is a long video. I don't know for how long I have been recording already, but thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below which ones are your top of this year. Have you watched all of these films? How many did you watch? I actually watched 112. Last year I watched 114, so just 2 films that make the difference. My full list is in Letterboxd, because of course I did not review every single one of them. That will be a lot, but I saw a lot of horror. It wasn't as good as last year, but I still had a pretty good year. This is also my first year that I was ever invited to press screenings in movie theaters, and my second year receiving early screeners at home. I am so damn grateful for those opportunities, and I hope that I can get more next year. But once again, thank you so much for watching. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. I hope that you guys have a good week with your family, your friends, with your loved ones. And I will see you guys on my next one to end this year with the upcoming horror films of 2024. And without much to say, thank you for watching. Bye.
Ghosts are real. That much I know.